All right, we're here with Coach's Corner number 18. My top three grit books. Grit is kind of a passion topic of mine. Studies have shown that grit is the single most important personal characteristic to have in order to be successful in any, given endeavor, whether it be sports or whether it be teaching or whether it be business or anything, more so than intelligence or any other personal characteristic. And so I've read several books on the topic, and these are my top three. The first one is Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance by Angela Duckworth, which is really the gold standard book on grit, in my humble opinion. In the book, she defines grit as the passion and perseverance towards an extended goal, okay, down the road, keep pushing through despite the obstacles. The book it describes a lot of research and reads a bit like a textbook, but I loved it. It was fantastic. It was really insightful in terms of, success and what leads to success in life. Angela Duckworth also has an amazing TED Talk, which is really how I was introduced to her work. So you can check that out on YouTube as well. The next one is a book that I discovered through another podcast. She was a guest on a podcast, and Dr. Cinder Kamphoff wrote the book Beyond Grit. She is a sports psychologist who really kind of embraces Angela Duckworth's research. And in this book, she describes the 10 practices through her research, the 10 practices of the world's best. And these are the world's best athletes, the world's best business people, people who have been the highest achievers in a multitude of life's work. And there are things like the world's best are gritty. Okay, back to grit again. The world's best are the master of their thoughts. The world's best own who they are. The world's best live and let go. Okay, they don't let things bog them down. The world's best choose their courage zone, so they know when to get out of their comfort zone, those kinds of things. So really a good book. Not a quick read necessarily, but one that I got a lot out of and felt like it was really meaningful. She also has a podcast, her own podcast, which is pretty good, called The High Performance Mindset. You can check that out. And the last book in my top three books on grit is a book called Old School Grit by Darren Donnelly. This is a fable, really short book, quick read. It's a fable about an older basketball coach and the lessons he teaches his grandchildren. And he teaches them these lessons through letters that he writes them during his final year of coaching. He's a world famous, legendary coach, and he wants to pass life's lessons down to his grandchildren, observing how things have changed and how his players have changed and how people have changed. And he just writes them these letters that gives them lessons that reveal rules for living a successful and happy life, beyond the things that the culture tells us should make us successful and happy. So grit is really important. I'm a huge believer in finding ways to build it in our young people, and these three books, I think, really give you some great insight into the topic and would be really beneficial for your personal growth and your coaching. So give them a check. There's some links in the description and in the social media post where you can go and buy those books. So I would encourage you to do that and check them out. All right. Have a great week, and make sure you're being that coach that your kids need you to be.